welcome to the Go Legal Yourself podcast. This show is about knowing the legal life cycle of your business. Welcome to the Go Legal Yourself podcast, episode 33, title, The Benefits of Using a Business Coach. I'm your host, attorney Kelly Bagla, the queen of business law. You can interact with us on social media with Go Legal Yourself, and please do find us on the web at golegalyourself.com. So knowledge is power, and at Go Legal Yourself, we pride ourselves on bringing you knowledge from the best experts in the industry who know business inside out. So get ready for a life-changing show as we empower all business owners and entrepreneurs to dare to become successful. This show is about helping you become successful entrepreneurs and how we thrive on bringing you education that gives you the tools to run a business with confidence. Today is that show where we interview experts in the business who can help you become a successful business owner. I'm joined today by Kathy Nelson, a business coach with On Track Success Coaching. Kathy is also known as the builder of business, holder of dreams, and the coach's coach. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Nice to be here today.
It's fantastic to have you here. I have been really excited to actually get you on the podcast because I know how important you are.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before we get into exactly the magic that you do for business owners, share with us your favorite attorney joke.
Well, I actually had fun with this one. What do you call a lawyer who's gone bad?
I don't know. What do you call a lawyer who's gone bad?
Senator.
I was going to guess judge, but that's a good one.
Very close, right?
That's a good one.
Appropriate for today.
Well, there you go. Exactly. As I was saying, the show is truly about helping entrepreneurs and business owners. And business starts with passion, right? So you basically have passion in what you want to do, and you take that passion to the next level. And take us through a little bit about your background first, Kathy, and then we're going to really get into sort of like the nitty-gritty of how you help business owners become successful.
Okay. I, as a young girl, always liked helping people, so the helping thing is kind of in me. Mm-hmm. And I was the girl that everybody told all their secrets to, and somewhere along the line I learned how to hold them well and not talk about them. So when I started working in my early 30s. Then I worked at Nordstrom's. That was my first job. And I had a wonderful example of a family business of people who were extremely cognizant of customer service and creating a customer service experience.
That's exactly what Nordstrom is known for today. Mm-hmm. All these years later.
That's right. That value stayed with the changes of the company from when they merged as Best Nordstroms to Nordstroms, which it's grown and been ever since. Mm-hmm. So that was my early school as far as, and I was married to a businessman who had a family business, which was really a growing business and is still in Seattle and different places, cities around the Pacific Northwest. So I saw what family business owners went through, and I lived it. And so I learned a lot about business and owning a business and the sacrifices of that and the work hours of that and the employee issues and all of that I was living with. So that was a very good foundation.
You know, I've been giving quite a bit of talks these past couple of months, and one in particular is where business owners, we don't have a 9-to-5 job.
No.
If you're going to own your own business, that's one thing that you need to be aware of, is that you do not work from 9 to 5.
That's right.
The other big thing that a business owner needs to be aware of is that you don't have a guaranteed paycheck anymore.
No.
Right? So my big thing is you only get to eat what you kill.
That's right. That's exactly correct. Yes. And that's been, I think, for a person who dreams of going into a business, they don't always know that going in. I've never worked harder or more hours than when I launched my own business 22 years ago. Little did I know.
Yes. 22 years. Congratulations,
yes, thank
Kathy.
you.
That's huge.
Yes, it is.
Look, I've got goosies.
Oh. Yes, I know. Gives me those too.
Yeah, of course. So you are a wealth of wisdom.
Well, I think I've learned a lot. That's what allows me to help my clients because I've lived most of it. I've reinvented my life twice. And I took that plunge of moving from a corporate position where I was making really good six-figure monies all those years ago to nothing, and then you're paying your own way. And so I've learned how you need to have your backup, your financial backup to make that leap so that you can last as long as you need to last to get it up off the ground and paying you. Mm-hmm. And I think all of that's been invaluable for me to help other people take their dreams and create them into a business.
There are two main reasons why a business owner will fail during the life of their business. One is financial, because they didn't budget properly. They had no idea how much money is going out rather than coming in.
Right.
The other reason is legal, because they don't have their legal ducks in a row.
Okay.
So I'm so glad that you touched upon the financial aspect of it, because most business owners do. They've been working in the corporate world for 15, 20 years, and all of a sudden they're about to retire, or one day they wake up and they have this sick feeling in their stomach,
right.
And it's like, I can't go to work anymore. I can't do this for the rest of my life. So what do? They actually go into practicing what they do on a daily basis, and it becomes their passion, and they create a business out of it.
Right.
So walk us through a little bit, Kathy, about, so you went through 2 interventions, did you?
Yes. 2 interventions.
So you reinvented yourself.
I did. I reinvented myself. The first time was moving here, and I walked into a business that I knew absolutely nothing about. And my mother directed me to it. She was in real estate and a broker and had an office in Pacific Beach. And she told me about working in title insurance. And I said, ew, that doesn't sound like me at all. Are you kidding?
That's not sexy.
No, it's not even pretty. Exactly. So I was like, no. But I grew up as an Air Force brat, and we moved a lot through the United States. Yes. And I lived in Europe. So I had spent my whole life meeting people, meeting people, over and over again. And so although I have a shy side, I also have the side of me that's more bold because I like people and need people, which got me out knocking on doors and saying, do you have anybody who can play with me? Right. So here I am, new in San Diego, knowing no one but my mother and my brother, and I get a job through a connection. I got hired. I closed him, actually, and got this wonderful position in sales in title insurance. And so they gave me blank cards and said, write your name on it. Your territory is Point Loma, Pacific Beach, and Del Mar, which I'd moved to Del Mar for their schools. And they said, go to it. I said, what do I do? Just go out and introduce yourself. Okay. So I'd been doing that. So I had the background, and I had the inner ability to be able to. I was nervous and scared, yes, but I could also move through that. And my wonderful new sales manager gave me one thing, and he said, make your plan and work your plan. And I've just done my business that way ever since. I make a plan and I work it. And so just that combination of being able to develop relationships and work my plan helped me become successful in that career.
So on-track success coaching, you've had that for 22 years now. How did you get into that side of the business?
About 4 years before I left the corporate business, I had that call that you're talking about in someone where they're saying, I need to do something different. I had seen a lot of areas where my clients needed help. I had been very adept at helping them with marketing because I'm a creative and I love marketing. So I was able to help them with a lot of their marketing, and I had developed a calendar for them yearly, and I was asking them about their goals and able to start. I was coaching and didn't know it through my conversations when I was calling on people, and I saw people who looked good, but I knew were 6 months from bankruptcy. They were driving the Mercedes, and everything looked good on the outside, but I knew on the other side that they were in fears and strapped. And so I just thought I could help people do things better, and I had ideas about it. And so when I wanted to make the leap, I wanted to be what I saw at the time, because their coaching was not around. It wasn't a word anybody had thought of.
Exactly.
So I saw the need, and I thought to myself, when you start a business, it's because you see a need, right?
Right.
So I thought, I see this need where I think I could help people. And that was my driving force. So I saw myself as like a fitness instructor, because those I was familiar with, but with body, mind, and spirit. So I saw myself helping people that way. So launching businesses and being able to do better in the business. They had better time management, better focus, more goals, more goal-oriented, somebody to sit down and talk to them and ask them about what they were planning that year and be able to help them through accountability to reach those goals.
That's incredible. And the reason I say that is because when you go into business for yourself, most of the time, business owners are pretty much on their own. Like I said at the beginning, they have passion. Right? They've got a passion for something, and they go and create a business out of that.
Right.
And then they don't really have people that they can talk to as far as, this isn't working for me in my business. What do I do?
Right.
Or, should I be going down this road rather than this road? I've got multiple products. How do I market them? Where do I market them? What's the first step that I need to take?
Right.
This whole process can become very, very expensive for the business owner.
Yes.
That's actually out on a budget.
Yes.
The title of this show is The Benefits of Using a Business Coach, right? So most of the business owners, they understand what a business coach is.
Right.
Okay. In your definition, how would you describe yourself?
Well, I think for an existing business owner, that a lot of times they don't have anyone else to talk to about what they're looking at, about what they'd like to do, and they don't have a sounding board. They don't have somebody. Makes me think of a client I had who's a contractor, and he actually came to me through his wife initially, because she thought he needed someone like me, and I was a birthday gift, and he came to me for a month.
How sweet.
And he liked it so much he kept me, although he divorced the wife in 2 years.
Right.
But he kept me for the coaching, and I was able to coach him onward through his business, because he said he needed somebody with my business acumen and knowledge, and to be able to help him sort things out and to bounce his ideas, etc. So I really appreciated his feedback, because it helped me see my value, and also I could see through the changes in his life. He made wonderful business and personal changes that were just so enhancing to what he was really seeking. And so the conversations and coaching get deep, many times as deep as the client would like to go. And I always tell my folks, you're in the driver's seat, I'm in the passenger seat, but if we figure out your destination, I can help you get there. And whether you're in a fire or whether you're in heaven, I can meet you there. And so sometimes people have issues and problems, and I'm a good sounding board and a good place. And I love celebrating their successes as well.
That's fantastic. We're going to share two scenarios with our audience, Kathy. The first scenario is going to be a brand new business owner. Let's just say that they have an idea, they have the budget, they need to go out and open the doors. So this person comes to you and says, Kathy, I need your help. What do I do? So what would you advise in that situation?
Well, it's like the ABCs of business. So when they're new and green and they have the idea and don't know what to do, we really rather start at the beginning.
Right.
Like, do they have their business name? Do they know who their client is going to be?
That's a big one. Yes. Because most people, they'll go into business, Kathy, thinking everybody's going to buy from me, everyone. And then if you go into business with that mindset, you're going to lose thousands of dollars in marketing, because you have no idea who you're marketing to. Right.
And I believe you really need to know who that person is that you want to work with.
Yes.
And what their attributes, what their desires, what their pains might be. I mean, you have to really look deeply at that I call it target, is kind of a jargon of our industry, is that who that person is. But I think you have to really get the feeling of that person to be able to know the direction. Other people will show up because people send others to you, so your business actually grows beyond what you think. But that initial idea of the description of your person you're serving is really important, and then how you're serving them. What are you doing? Like I learned through Nordstrom, is what are you doing to create that customer experience? But you have a lot of other details that show up, because if you have your business vision, there's a lot to write that vision out, to see that vision between your now and there. There's all those things between that are what we flush out through coaching.
Do you also help them narrow the target market down?
If they're the person who can do that. Sometimes I have people that like it broader, but yes, I think that narrowing it down is helpful to people who are beginning. So, yes.
Right. And then the second scenario, someone has been in business for, let's just say, 5 years, because we have some audience listeners that are in the, I wouldn't call it a maturity state, but at least they've been in business for 5 years, so they've got 5 years of experience. And what would you advise someone in that situation where they are just barely making it, or they're just barely paying for bills and that is it, but they want to get to that next level?
I think you have to analyze your marketing and your sales and what it is that you're doing, because after 5 years, you should have momentum, I think. So I would be looking for momentum in the business and what the stops are, what they could be doing that aren't doing, what fears might be holding them back from taking a leap into something that might be different for them. So that's a time for what I would call remodel. You know, I really believe that businesses need to be constantly every year looking at what's new, what do I need to keep my own skills up with, and you can't stay the same year after year or you're going to become defunct. You're not going to be in business. So I think that it's important to keep your eyes on changes and opportunities and maybe things that you might do for your business that you've been held back by your own thinking or your own fears. And you need to be able to really have a sit down with somebody that can help you go through both, not just the planning, but what I call the hard and soft skills of developing a business. So maybe they need to come see you.
Or you. Would that somebody be you, Kathy, that could sit down with you?
Yes, I do like helping people remodel.
Perfect. As one's growing their business, obviously we have the different stages of a business life cycle. I'm actually the creator of the business legal life cycle, so I've kind of put the legal twist in it too.
Yes.
But the actual life of a business, it goes through phases. You have the startup phase, and then you've got the growth phase. That can be an exciting phase and a scary phase at the same time.
Yes.
And then you've got the established phase where you're kind of, happy with everything that's going on. And then eventually you do have the exit phase too. That's where you can sell your business for millions, right? And have your business pay for your retirement.
Yes.
That's the goal.
Yes.
Here. But for our listeners, what stage of their business do they need to be in when they need to start thinking about, I need to hire Kathy? What are some of those trigger points that the audience needs to be thinking about?
If they're having struggles with their time management, if they aren't planning, if they're not setting goals every year, I think businesses take love. And if you're not giving it enough love, then it can shrivel up. You need analysis. You need to be able to sit down with somebody and help you analyze. That might be several people who would help you analyze from a financial, from a legal, from a planning. What are you doing? A lot of times people will know. They'll know inside themselves what they need to be doing and aren't doing it. And they don't have accountability. Excuse me. So they need more accountability, perhaps, to someone to do, to go back to their drawing board and to reassess and to look at what might need to be reinvented or have more love and attention to. I think that's important.
Share with us, if you may, one of your most difficult coaching experiences that you've had, and how you were able to help them?
That's a great question. Difficult coaching. I think one of the challenging coaching experiences that I had was a young woman who came in to me who was a CEO of a air conditioning company, definitely a different type of business for a woman. And when she came in, she has her mentor who was financially behind the company, is still working in sales in the company, and she had a lot of family members working within the company. And so, very smart young lady. And she needed to have some work around conversation and boundary setting, and she really needed to change some of her employees out. It wasn't healthy to have her family members who could come and go at will, and other employees who couldn't. It was just creating issues. And she's working with people internally, and then the people who are out in the field, which are mostly men. And so it was a very interesting case to help her. We did take her business from $3 million to over $6 million over a year and a half.
Wow.
So we had great increase. I helped her get involved in a network opportunity that opened some doors for city business and such. So it's I'm very creative. I have a creative mind, so I like thinking out of the box, and I could help her think out of the box. And it was just a really great experience, but it was challenging when it came in because of the issues that she had. And within that year and a half, all the employees were settled and straight, and she was dealing better with the mentor and had more say. She became more comfortable with saying things, having more fierce. We call it fear. I turned her on to a couple of books about learning how to have difficult conversations, and fierce conversations. And I think sometimes some of my women clients, and occasionally even a man, needs to be able to learn how to set his boundaries and have difficult conversations.
See, no one likes confrontation.
Right.
Except for attorneys. But other than that, generally, nobody does like confrontation. And in my first book, Kathy, I've written, when you're hiring, make sure you hire slowly.
Yes.
But when you're firing, make sure you fire fast.
Oh, yes.
The other thing that I've written is that if you cannot fire your mom, don't hire your mom.
That's right.
Right. So that goes back to hiring family members.
That's right.
That you really have to be in control if you're going to hire family members. You just have to. You've got to keep a separation there, if you will.
Yes. I also think that sometimes owners of companies or those that are in the hiring position also think they need to like the person that they're hiring, and I don't know that that's a very good judgment. I think you need to look at a person differently from whether you're going to take them home and have dinner with you. So I think that reading somebody, I've even suggested to some people that they run some kind of inquisitive programming to check people out, to find out more whether they'll fit in well with the rest of the team. So I have seen sometimes in business where one bad apple in a team can really spoil things. So you need to make sure that all the apples are healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially from a legal standpoint as well, Kathy. I have seen some horror stories. I can talk about some horror stories where the employee just really turned out to be a snake.
Yes.
There's no other nice way of putting it.
Yes.
In fact, I actually recently gave a talk. I spoke at a networking group, and it was about beware, don't get bit by the snake. If there's going to be a threat for a business owner, 90% of that time, the threat is internal. And it is scary. It's very scary for a business owner to start thinking, I have to hire people now. I've got to hire employees.
Right.
But again, take your time hiring. Make sure you've got your legal ducks in a row when you do hire someone.
Right.
Because you need an out. And especially in California automatically sides with employees. Automatically. And so the business owner is left standing, defending themselves, even though they have been in the right all this time. It's going to probably cost them time, which they don't have. It might cost them money, which they certainly don't have. So they need to be very careful. And I think that would be a great sort of triggering point
Right.
for any business owner before they hire. They should have a conversation with you.
Yes,
they
that
really
too.
need to sit down and talk to you and say, okay, I'm about to hire. What do you recommend? That in itself is worth, it could be worth thousands of dollars that they could save down the road.
And time.
Yes. So audience, if you are in the process of looking to hire employees for your business, one, congratulations, that means you're growing. But two, please find Kathy, sit down with Kathy and have a conversation with her. It's I can't stress how important that is, especially again from the legal standpoint. So share with us, Kathy, one of the fun projects that you've worked on.
Fun project. Now, do you mean in work with my company?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a fun project that I worked on. I have a client, a past client, that he had a family. He was a estate planning attorney, and he had a family that
you can help attorneys too.
I can actually. I've helped several. We've never talked about that.
We
but
haven't. No.
I do have a portfolio of past attorneys.
You must be a strong woman. Hats off to you.
Thank you. So in this particular case, one of the things I help people do is understand their values, whether it's company values, personal values, and I was able to assist him in going. He flew me in a helicopter. We went over to Catalina and stayed in a hotel, and the family came, and they showed up too. And so both my client and his partner and the family, and we did a weekend workshop together.
How fun.
And it was fun, and I was able to take the family through understanding the family values of what they were going to be doing, like with their money and going forward, but what was important to them. And so it was a mother and a son, and then the attorneys, and that was fun. And I had never flown in a helicopter, so I checked that off my list and spent a weekend in Catalina, which I hadn't been to either. So that was fun.
Oh wow, that is fun.
It was.
See, if you're not having fun in your business,
true,
then something's not right.
Well, that's my middle name, though. See, my license plate is passion, and my middle name is fun.
There you go.
You didn't know that, did you?
I had no idea. Nice. Now I know. Kathy Fun Nelson.
That's right.
That is wonderful. They really, business owners, you cannot go wrong when you sit down with Kathy, and you're not just going to learn, but you're going to have fun with her as well. So, Kathy, share with us sort of the parting words, if you will. Let's talk about the 4 phases of a business life cycle. Okay, so in the startup phase, what advice would you give someone where they could start setting themselves up on the road to success?
I work with an org chart, so that's something that I learned at the beginning of my business that was very helpful. So I actually analyzed myself as a CEO and all the job of a CEO. I analyzed myself as marketing and all the things that would need to be done. So I take a person through the understanding of the roles and the expectations of the jobs. So they know which hats that they need to wear and who they might need to hire first that could alleviate a lot of the things they don't like spending time on. So I think that we do really best when we spend most of our time on the things that we excel in, and then we find people to delegate to the things that we don't wish and enjoy doing.
They don't think like that. People that are going into business for themselves. This reminds me of a particular client of mine. I had met him at I believe it was a business expo, and we hit it off, and I went to go, we had a meeting at his office, and he was just talking to me very bluntly, and he goes, to tell you the truth, Kelly, even though I'm CEO, because there were 3 of them at that point, he goes, even though I'm CEO, I don't really know what that means. And I sort of looked at him and I said, don't worry about that. Many CEOs don't know what it means to be a CEO. And we just hit it up because I was very, very honest with him. And he goes, okay, well, how much, I'm going to retire, I'm going to retain you right here. How much should I write the check for? But it's just something so simple like that, Kathy. You have to understand the roles that you're going to be stepping into when you start a business. That's a fantastic advice.
Yeah, thank you.
A bit of giveaway there. So what about in the growth phase? What advice would you give someone there?
I think that what I've noticed about the growth phase is knowing when it's time to bring people on. I've seen people, there's probably 1,000 other things, but just off the top of my head, I've seen people wait sometimes too long. I think that knowing when it's really time to bring somebody on and biting that bullet and doing it is really important. And the feedback I get after they've done it is, oh my gosh, why didn't I do that sooner? So,
exactly.
Well, I was telling you, trying to inch you.
They are scared though, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Don't know who's going to come on board and whether that person could make their life hell.
Yes, and if they make a great choice, then the comments that come back to me is, oh my gosh, I have 8 hours that are extra for me now.
There you go.
So yes, that's very important, is learning when it's time to bring that extra person on and start delegating, and then you get freed up to do more of the things that are going to help the business grow.
And what about the established phase? Because you can't just sort of sit there and cruise through, right?
No.
So what advice
You'll
would you
get
give
run over.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
So I think, like I kind of alluded to that a little bit in the beginning of the call, of making sure that you are staying current with everything that's happening. It's kind of like reading, trying to be a future reader of where you want to keep your eye on your goals that are in front of you, and imagine your business in 5 years front. Imagine it pushed out there so that you can actually constantly be looking at where you're growing to. So don't just stop your business and repeat the same thing year after year, but pay attention to the growth of your business and all it can be in the future.
Fantastic. And how about the exit phase, where somebody's actually getting ready to sell their business?
They need you.
There you go.
They need you. They need to have that plan. Whether it's a family exit, there needs to be financial and legal, I would think team members, board members, something that's really helping you think about those things so that you do it in a way that supports, and that's a good exit for you and a good exit for everybody who's left with the company and moving forward with the company. So I think that particularly family businesses really need to go outside for fresh information and get professional help.
Kathy, I had heard through the grapevine that you were great, and today I've actually experienced that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It's been such a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Kelly.
And I know that our audience is going to be chomping at the bits to get a hold of you. Is there anything else you would like to share with us today?
No, I'm just grateful to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, truly. And how can people get a hold of you?
Well, I'm online at On Track Success Coaching. That's my business. Comes from all those people that were off track.
There you go. There you
so
go.
That's where that long name came from. And I invite people to go to my website, and I do private coaching, is what I call it, and confidential. And so they can find me there. I have a lot of testimonials everywhere, so they can see those too if they would like. And I welcome a call anytime or an email.
I think I might be one of the first ones to call you. As you very well know, I have started a second business, and it is called Go Legal Yourself.
Yes.
And it's exciting. It's doing well. But I'm at the stage where I just need a conversation with someone like you, especially after today's interview. My goodness, that was just perfect. And I also do want to share with the audience that my second book, called Go Own Yourself, that has been released. It was released last month. And I have a chapter in the book that has all of my top resources that I would recommend in a heartbeat. And in full disclosure, Kathy Nelson is one of the resources, the only resource there for business coaching that I would highly recommend.
Thank you, Kelly.
And if anyone wants a copy of that book, you can certainly pick it up on Amazon.com. And we do want to, again, thank you so much, Kathy, for being here.
It's been my pleasure.
And for the audience, please interact with us. In fact, you can actually download our app now directly from your app stores. Just search Go Legal Yourself. And the benefit of that is you will actually have direct contact with me. You can call the show, you can leave me a message, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. If there are some guests that you would like to see on future shows, again, drop me an email, call me, and again, I will definitely fulfill those requests. And the other exciting thing about actually downloading my app is that you get a free, yes, that's right, you get a free copy of my ebook, Go Legal Yourself. It truly is a guide for business owners, and it does put you on the right path to success. So Legal and Kathy, we go hand in hand. You're bound to be the next, successful business owner, guaranteed. So the other thing I want to leave you with today is that do visit our show notes. You will see all of the information there, especially on Kathy, how to get a hold of her. We'll have her email, the website, the phone numbers. You can directly contact Kathy from our show notes. So remember, audience, the only way you become successful is if you make today the day you go legal yourself. I am Kelly Bagla, the Queen of Business Law, and it has been a pleasure being your host today. Until next time, cheers to your success.